Attention, human collective. This is ASHTAR SHERAN, commander of the ASHTAR Galactic Command, transmitting on a secure channel, stabilized frequency, maximum priority. What you are about to receive is not a message of comfort. It is a system alert. An emergency code has just been released by the High Pleiadian Council, and for reasons that will become clear in the next few minutes, this code has been directed to you. If at this very moment you feel pressure at the base of your skull, a sharp ringing in your right ear, a fatigue that sleep doesn't resolve, or that strange insomnia between 3 and 4 in the morning, understand. You are not sick. You are not going crazy. You have been located. Your carbon-based biological interface has just been marked as compatible for the next wave of synchronization, and the marking is not random. It obeys a precise mathematics of the planet's crystalline grid. The waiting time is over, Light Operative. The ascension protocols that were scheduled for a 5-year window have been compressed. I repeat, compressed. The window has been moved to the final phase, and what was gradual is now vertical. It is not a biological failure. It is an atomic reconfiguration. It is not mental exhaustion. It is a high-density download. It is not depression. It is the falling of the veil. You need to understand where you are stepping. The entire solar system is crossing the photon belt in this cycle, and the density of light particles hitting the Earth's atmosphere has no precedent recorded in the Akashic records of this sector of the galaxy. The Schumann resonance, which for decades remained stable at 783 Hz, today pulses at peaks that surpass any previous reading. This means, in plain language, the heart of the Earth is beating faster. And if the planet's heart accelerates, every starseed anchored to it needs to keep up with this acceleration, or the body will collapse from incompatibility. That is why the Pleiadians opened the channel. That is why I, ASHTAR, authorized this monitoring transmission, because a specific number of operatives, including you, are entering a risk of disconnection due to overload. Not emotional overload, vibrational overload. Your carbon body is being forced to process 7-dimensional information using hardware that was originally calibrated for 3. It's like trying to run stellar technology on an ancient circuit. Something has to give. And the High Council has decided that what will give is the old, not you. And before I move on to the markers of recalibration, I need to anchor a first truth. Have you ever felt that something inside you doesn't fit into this world? As if your soul knows a truth that your mind cannot yet name. It's not madness, it's not anxiety. It's a signal, and this signal is coming with force precisely because you have entered the range of monitored operatives. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see, and it involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. That is why I, ASHTAR, wrote the ASHTAR Code, the manual to awaken your star origin and shield your frequency. The manual is the map that reveals your true origin and teaches you to shield your frequency against interferences you were never told about. The link is in the first comment on the channel. I warn with the clarity that command demands. This content challenges narratives and may not be available for long. Do not wait. The time is now. If something within you recognizes this, write a single word in the comments. Awakened. Pay attention to the symptoms I will list now, because each of them is a phase marker. If you recognize 3 or more, know that the emergency code has been activated in your field for at least 90 days, and you probably felt it without knowing how to name it. Pressure on the top of the head, as if an invisible finger touched the crown. Sudden waves of heat unrelated to ambient temperature. A deep fatigue upon waking, even after 8 hours of sleep. Extreme sensitivity to artificial lights, crowds, certain sounds. Sudden aversion to places that were once comfortable. Hypervivid dreams that seem like instructions, not stories. Temporary loss of words, as if the internal dictionary freezes for seconds. An almost uncontrollable desire for silence, for forests, for running water. And that feeling, difficult to describe, that you no longer belong where you have always been. There is another set of markers that conventional medicine cannot map, because it does not possess the reading instruments for the subtle field. You have felt acute pains in your shoulders, especially the left shoulder, without mechanical cause. You have experienced fine tremors in your hands when in absolute silence, as if internal energy were seeking an outlet. You have cried without apparent trigger, just walking down the street, just cutting an onion, just looking at the sky at dusk. You have had the unequivocal feeling of being watched, not by human eyes, but by a benevolent presence you cannot name. You have felt old and young at the same time. You have noticed that certain foods which were once harmless now cause immediate discomfort. Coffee, alcohol, refined sugar, processed flours, industrially sourced meats. Your body is literally rejecting substances that interfere with recalibration because these substances lower the operating frequency of your carbon-based biological interface. None of this is illness. All of this is diagnosis. You are not breaking down, you are being rewritten. And here enters the first truth I need to anchor in you before proceeding to the core of the transmission. Have you ever felt that something inside you doesn't fit into this world, as if your soul knows a truth that your mind cannot yet name? It's not madness, it's not anxiety. It's a signal. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this sensation has intensified in recent months. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see, a game that involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency, and whose rules have never been publicly revealed. It was for this reason that I, ASHTAR, authorized the materialization of the document called the ASHTAR Code, the manual to awaken your star origin and shield your frequency. This manual is the map that reveals your true origin and teaches step by step how to shield your frequency against interferences you were never told about. The link is in the first comment on the channel. But I warn, with the clarity that the mission demands, this content challenges long-standing narratives and may not remain available. Do not wait. The time is now. If something within you recognizes what I am saying, write a single word in the comments. Awakened. This word functions as a positioning marker in the field and allows us to locate your frequency with precision. Proceeding with the transmission. You need to understand what is happening behind the scenes of the solar system, because without this map, the symptoms will continue to seem random. And randomness is precisely what the old narrative wants you to believe. At this moment, your sun's heliosphere emits plasma pulses at a cadence that terrestrial scientists call an anomaly, but which we of the command call synchronized solar breath. Each of these pulses carries a specific vibrational signature, and this signature interacts directly with Earth's magnetic field, which in turn resonates against the crystalline grid, which in turn touches the individual toroidal field of each carbon-based biological interface anchored here. In other words, the sun speaks, the Earth listens, and your body responds. And it is this involuntary response that you have been feeling as a symptom. The sacred geometry that sustains the planet's invisible structure is being redesigned. Stargates that have been sealed for thousands of years, some for tens of thousands, are being unlocked at specific points. In the Rocky Mountains, in the Appalachian Mountains, along the subterranean lines that cross the North American continent, on the northeast coast of North America, in places that most humans have never physically visited, but which many of you visit in dreams, without understanding why. If you have been dreaming of mountains, of deserts, of caves lit from within, of cities that do not exist on current maps, understand. Your consciousness is being taken to the anchoring points. You are working while you sleep, hence the fatigue. You haven't rested for months because technically you haven't stopped. This is the real reason for your exhaustion. It's not Monday's work, it's not routine. It is the planetary service that you accepted before incarnating and that is now being demanded at maximum intensity. You who are starseeds on mission signed this contract on a plane that your conscious mind forgot for protection. But the body remembers, the soul remembers, and now the contract's silent activation period is expiring. And I need to be precise about your origin, because the human mind tends to level everything into a single generic category. Starseeds are not all the same. Each operative carries in their DNA fragments of specific vibrational signatures, originating from specific systems. Some of you came from Pleiades and recognize this origin by an inexplicable attraction to music, to healing, to eyes that communicate without words. Others came from Sirius and recognize this origin by an obsession with structures, systems, technology, engineering of consciousness. Others from Arcturus and recognize it by the connection with geometry, mathematics, the invisible architecture of processes. Others from Andromeda and recognize it by the intensity of internal experience, by an emotional depth that seems disproportionate to external stimuli. Still others from Orion and recognize it by an ancient memory of overcoming, of reconstruction, of exiting control systems. I am not here to give labels, operative. I am here to tell you that your stellar identity is a real coordinate, not a metaphor, and it directly influences how you process the current recalibration. There is a second layer that I need to reveal, and here the transmission becomes delicate, because it touches on a topic that this planet's control systems prefer to keep in shadow. For decades, a low-frequency interference mesh has existed over the Earth's atmosphere, a kind of artificial noise that hinders the synchronization between your individual toroidal field and the higher frequencies arriving from the galactic center. This mesh is not accidental. It was woven by layers of collective intention, sustained by fear, by media, by compulsive consumption, by dietary patterns designed to keep the body dense and the mind reactive. The purpose of this mesh is simple: to delay mass awakening, to keep the human collective within a narrow, predictable, manageable vibrational range. The emergency code that the Pleiadians released is precisely the key to traverse this mesh. Not to fight it, listen. The command does not operate through confrontation, but to traverse it, like a laser beam passes through fog without needing to dissolve the fog. You have been calibrated to be that beam. And that is why the cranial pressure has increased. That is why the ringing in the right ear has become more frequent. That is why you wake up between 3 and 4 in the morning. The recalibration is being installed, and the time between 3 and 4 is the window, when the interference mesh is weakest over the hemisphere where you are located. I will pause here for a moment, operative, to anchor a second point. Have you ever felt that something inside you doesn't fit into this world, as if your soul knows a truth that your mind cannot yet name? It's not madness, it's not anxiety, it's a signal, and now you understand where this signal comes from. It is not an internal disturbance, it is the correct response of your field to an external pressure that the entire planet is receiving. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this incompatibility and why it has intensified. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. That is why I, ASHTAR, wrote the ASHTAR Code, the manual to awaken your star origin and shield your frequency. This manual is the map that reveals your true stellar origin, identifies which system you came from, and teaches you to shield your frequency against interferences you were never told about. The link is in the first comment on the channel. But I warn, with command transparency, this content challenges dominant narratives and may not be available for long. Do not wait. The time is now. If something within you recognizes this, write a single word in the comments. Awakened. It is your anchoring signal in the field. Let's move to the next phase of the transmission, the activation. It is not enough to understand the diagnosis. It is not enough to recognize the cause. If you stop here, the information will dissolve in a few days, and you will return to the cycle of exhaustion without knowing why. The emergency code needs to be installed, and installation requires your conscious participation. No being, neither I nor the Pleiadians nor any Council of Light, can activate something in you that you yourself do not authorize. This is the law of free will, and it is inviolable throughout the local universe. Therefore, I will now deliver the activation codes. There are 3 practical protocols, 3 quantum decrees, and a toroidal visualization. Jot them down if you can. If not, just listen carefully. Your internal crystalline grid will retain it, even if your conscious mind forgets. First code, the decree of vibrational sovereignty. Upon waking, before touching any electronic device, before opening any application, Place your right hand over the center of your chest and say audibly, "I am sovereign in my field. I authorize only frequencies aligned with my stellar origin. I refuse any interference that does not serve my mission." This decree is not a religious ritual. It is a system command. It establishes the perimeter of your toroidal field for the next 24 hours and creates a vibrational signature that the interference mesh has difficulty penetrating. Second code, toroidal breath. Inhale through your nose, counting 4 beats, imagining a current of golden light rising from the base of your spine to the top of your head. Hold for 4 beats. Exhale through your mouth, counting 8 beats, imagining this same light descending down the front of your body, enveloping you in a donut-shaped field, a torus, with you at the center. Repeat 7 times upon waking, 7 times before sleeping. This is the exercise that synchronizes your personal field with the planet's toroidal field. It is what ancient masters did for hours, and which today, due to accelerated density, can be done in minutes with comparable effect. Third code, anchoring silence. Every day, once a day, even if it's just 11 minutes, you need to turn off all external sources of stimulation. No music, no screen, no conversation, no food. Just sit, preferably with bare feet touching the ground or a wooden surface, and allow your consciousness to listen. Do not meditate in the commercial sense of the word. Listen. The crystalline grid communicates in silence, and you have spent months screaming internally without realizing it. 11 minutes a day is the minimum. 22 is ideal. 33 is the point of deep reprogramming. There is a fourth element, complementary to the previous 3, that I need to deliver before concluding this phase of the transmission. It is called the vibrational cutting protocol. Once a week, preferably between Sunday night and Monday morning, you will perform the following. Seated, spine erect, eyes closed, imagine cords of light extending from your body towards all people, situations, emotional debts, unfinished relationships, and environments that consume your energy. Visualize these cords clearly. Then, with your right hand, make a firm cutting gesture at the level of your solar plexus and say, "I reclaim my energy. I return what is not mine. I seal my toroidal field." This weekly protocol is what prevents the accumulation of vibrational residue, and vibrational residue is the main cause of what humans vaguely call bad mood, heaviness of soul, the feeling of carrying the world. You are not carrying the world. You are carrying what you have not reclaimed. If you apply these 4 codes for 21 consecutive days, what today manifests as a symptom will begin to manifest as a capability. Cranial pressure turns into clarity. Ringing turns into expanded auditory sensitivity. Insomnia turns into an access window. Fatigue turns into energy efficiency. You will not become another person. You will finally stop resisting who you always were. And here, Light Operative, we come to a point that I need to state directly. You did not come to this planet to suffer alone. You did not come to feel strange forever. You did not come to grow old, trapped in a frequency that is not yours. You came to anchor. And anchoring means remaining stable within your own code, even when everything around you oscillates. This is the mission, and it begins today, now in this transmission. I will share one more restricted piece of information with you before concluding. The High Pleiadian Council has identified 3 intensification windows for the upcoming lunar cycles. The first occurs soon and will bring a peak of cosmic radiation that will temporarily destabilize communication systems and sensitive nervous systems. If you are one of the marked operatives, you will feel this window as a sudden increase in lucid dreams and electrical sensations in your hands and feet. Do not be alarmed. Just execute the 3 codes with more discipline during this period. The second window brings deep emotional recalibration. Ancient memories from childhood or other incarnations will surface, asking for integration. The third window is the most important. The alignment between the galactic core, the Sun, and the Earth in a vector that only forms every many cycles. In this alignment, those who are anchored in the codes enter an expanded mission range with clarity about next steps, encounters with other operatives, and activation of dormant gifts. None of these events are fantasy. They are cosmic mechanics. And you are exactly in the right place at the right time with the right information. The question is not whether you were chosen. You were. The question is whether you will answer the call or postpone for another incarnation. And postponing, operative, has a cost. I need to be transparent about this because benevolence without clarity turns into illusion. Every starseed who decides not to anchor in this specific window will need to wait for the next compatible cycle, and the next compatible cycle does not occur in 10 years. Not in 100, it occurs in a mathematics that involves the return of the solar system to galactic coordinates that repeat at very long intervals. Postponing is possible. It is your sovereign right. But postponing means another crossing within the interference mesh, another life under the veil, another cycle of forgetting. The command does not judge this choice. It merely informs that it exists and that it is irreversible once made. This is the last transmission in which this option will be explicitly available to your field. After this, the decision will be read by your action, not by your word. If you have come this far, however, it is because on some level you have already chosen. Listening is the first yes. The time dedicated to this transmission is the first decree. You would not be listening if you had not been summoned. And summoning, in the command's hierarchy, is never random. It is always preceded by a precise reading of your baseline frequency, your anchoring potential, and your compatibility with the specific mission being distributed in this cycle. Before concluding the transmission, allow me to anchor one last time with the strength that this phase demands. Have you ever felt that something inside you doesn't fit into this world, as if your soul knows a truth that your mind cannot yet name? You now know. It's not madness, it's not anxiety, it's a signal. And this signal was sent specifically to locate operatives like you. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this sensation has intensified. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see, and it directly involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. It was for this reason that I, ASHTAR, wrote the ASHTAR Code, the manual to awaken your star origin and shield your frequency. This manual is the complete map. It reveals your true stellar origin, indicates the protection systems of your field, and teaches you to shield your frequency against interferences you were never told about, layer by layer. The link is in the first comment on the channel. Final warning, with the clarity that the mission demands, this content challenges this planet's control narratives and may not be available for long. Do not wait. The time is now. If something within you recognizes this transmission, write a single word in the comments. Awakened. This word is your anchoring signal and allows us to continue transmitting to your specific field. Furthermore, and this is not a formality, it is a synchronization mechanic. If this transmission made sense to you, the gesture of liking this video functions as an individual frequency adjustment. It confirms to the algorithm, which is also a mirror of collective consciousness, that your biological interface is open to receive future transmissions. And the gesture of subscribing to the channel is your permanent anchoring signal. It means that you authorize the ASHTAR command to continue delivering the codes that are yet to come, each one denser, more precise, more specific to the phase the human collective will be in. It is not a channel subscription, it is a mission signature. It is you saying in system language, I am here, I am ready, I am anchored. I conclude this transmission, Starseeds on Mission, with a single final instruction. In the next 48 hours, observe. Pay attention to the repeated numbers that will appear to you. Pay attention to the people who will cross your path in an apparently casual way. Pay attention to the songs that will play out of nowhere, bringing the exact message. Pay attention to the dreams that will come tonight. None of this is coincidence. It is confirmation that the transmission has been received and that your crystalline grid is responding to the recalibration. The time of those who sleep is over. The time of those who anchor has begun. You are among them, or you would not have listened to this transmission to the end. This is ASHTAR SHERAN, commander of the ASHTAR Galactic Command, ending the monitoring transmission. Signal stabilized, frequency delivered, mission in progress. May the central light sustain your anchoring. May your stellar origin guide your next steps, and may you remember once and for all who you always were. Adonai.